Hi there, my name is Amber Horsley, and it's my distinct privilege to share how amazing our God is with you. So we had a pretty fun weekend, one of the best ones for the books. Spoiler alert, it involves a missing wedding ring, an x-ray for a dog's stomach, and some good old sensory play in dog poop. So I know now you are on the edge of your seats. The plot starts at a pumpkin patch. So my kiddos and I went to go join some friends at a pumpkin patch. And so, of course, it involves corn bits and playing in corn mazes and especially hanging out with the cats, because that's my kiddo's favorite thing, all the barn cats. I did not have on the agenda missing a wedding ring, but we like to keep things interesting. So I was sitting with one of the other moms at the corn pit and just talking about, life and motherhood and just seeing God in all the things. And so I'm playing with my wedding ring just because that's what I often do whenever I'm talking to people. I just like to fidget with my wedding ring. And so later I get up and we go and see the chickens and the goats and things like that. And shortly after that, I'm talking with another friend and I just start playing with my wedding ring, just like messing with my fingers, and I realized there's no wedding ring there. And so immediately I'm like, oh my goodness, where did it go? And so I start searching for it. And so naturally, I have this urgency to get my wedding ring back. But at the same time, even off the bat, I had this odd sense of just peace, that I knew I was going to get my ring back. And so it was going to be okay. So despite the knowing I was going to get it back internally, I was actively searching for it the rest of the time we're there, like just looking in the grass, because yes, the pumpkin patch is moderately big and such, but like I didn't do all the things I normally would have done. Like I didn't go into the corn pit. Or play with my son in the corn pit. I didn't play in the raspberry bushes. Like I didn't do anything crazy that should have made my ring go anywhere. So I'm like, okay, it should just be easily here to find. And so I'm like, I don't understand. But so that evening we came back with a couple metal detectors and a flashlight to continue our search, which is where even more of this God story starts. So first off, like I just had this inner certainty that I was going to find this ring again. But then just how many people out of the woodworks just helping. I just sent a group message to my church, and it's like, hey, anyone have a metal detector? And people are like, yes, I do. And I can get it to you by 5:30. And another one, oh, I can get it to you by 4. And so I was getting metal detectors. And so we arrive at probably 6 or so back to the pumpkin patch. And this gentleman was there. His name was Chris. And his 2 kiddos had already been searching for my ring for an hour. Like, what? I didn't even know this guy. And he's out there with his kids searching my ring. Like, my heart. And so we joined him on the search. And I was sure he was going to find it already, because it wasn't anywhere crazy. Like, I don't understand how my ring was missing. But, so we continue the search, doing all the things, retracing my steps, looking at my pictures, like going everywhere that I went. And I'm just like, I don't know where this ring is. Like, I know I didn't play in the corn pit. Like, it should not be this hard to find my ring. And so we were looking at flashlights, all the 9 yards, nothing. So from 5 to 9 p.m., this gentleman is out there helping us search for my ring. Like, how good God is. And the owners too, like Jen and Mike, are incredible people. I just absolutely love them. And they were out helping us search too. And so finally 9 o'clock, we call it. But what also was fun is because my original plan was that we were going to go out to our land and look at the stars out there, because Adelie wanted to look at stars. So I was like, you know what, baby girl, 2 for the price of 1. Like, we get to have some fun with metal detectors, like go look at the stars. Like, this will be fun, a fun experience for everybody. And so we look at some stars and then load up in the car and go back home. And so I'm just praying, like, Lord, like, help me find my ring. Just give me discernment, like, help my memory, like, help me to figure out where to look next. And so while I'm thinking, I'm like, the only thing I can think of, because my ring doesn't easily fall off. Like, it's not tight, but it's not like, you can't just fling off. So because we brought our dog Tucker, I was like, it must have been when I'm like moving him from place to place or something, and that his leash must have caught it or pulled it or something like that. And then being a puppy, being 12 weeks old, he was probably like, oh, what a delightful snack. Thank you so much for a wedding ring. And so I'm like, well, do I just start metal ejecting some poop? You know, like, I can do that. That's fine. But then the next day I'm like, you know what? I'm going to confirm. I'm going to go to the vet and just confirm, is there anything there? Like, some peace of mind. So took Tucker into the vet, and after an x-ray, oh, wouldn't you know, 3 ring-shaped objects chilling in his belly. So I have 1 wedding ring that was 3 soldered together. And in the x-ray, one of them looks strikingly like my engagement ring, where it has a certain like just divot up in the shape as well. And so like everything, like, it tracked. I was like, my dog and my wedding rings. And I must tell you, before we actually had the procedure, I never in a million years would have thought I would be praying to God that my dog would have ate my wedding ring. Never crossed my mind that that would be a prayer I would pray, but wouldn't you know, I did. And, you know, the kiddos and I were all sitting in there while Tucker's wheeled on back, you know. We're out there holding our hands, praying together that the Lord would be with us, and that Tucker would have eaten my wedding ring. You know, we live wild and free over here. And so yeah, comes back and there's 3 ring-shaped objects in Tucker's belly. And I'm like, cool. So what that means I get to do some sensory play with dog poop. Exciting. So for the next 2.5 days, I'm collecting all of his dog poop in little bags and squishing through them, looking for my wedding ring. And so again, this was Saturday early morning. So from Saturday until Sunday evening, so I guess 2 days, doing all the sensory and feeding him all the pumpkin, all the things, just to help streamline this process. And found lots of wood chips and lots of corn. No wedding ring. And so, you know, I'm just like, okay, well, it looks like tomorrow. So the game plan was that if nothing happened on Monday, to go in and get more x-rays or look at surgery or just x-rays and then go from there. Because that first x-ray showed there was one right near the rectum. So theoretically, that next poop or next couple afterwards, I should have seen something. And so the fact I didn't, I was like, that doesn't track well. Like, that's not good. Does it mean I have to do surgery on my dog? Like, great. So anyway, Sunday, 6:30 at night, I get a text from Jen at Squirrel Acres, and she's like, hey, any news on your ring? Because the day prior, after the x-ray, I drove straight out there again, just to give her peace of mind too, and my kids, again, my daughter needs that, well, rather, the barn cats need my daughter because they cannot survive without her loving care and her continual holding of them at all times, and that she has to wear a dress to cradle them as we walk around this whole process. She's the Pied Piper of the cats whenever we're there. They need her love, you know. And so I knew that these cats would need my daughter, as well as telling peace of mind to the owners that I knew where the ring was, now in my dog's belly for safekeeping, you know. So go there, tell them, and then we go do some other fun things the rest of the day. And then next evening, things like that, she messages me, hey, did you work it out type thing? Is everything okay over there? And I'm like, no, still nothing. She's like, well, we just found a ring. What? And so I'm sending her pictures of my ring, like, like what? And she sends me a picture of my ring, glistening in its glory, with no poop. Imagine that, no poop in my wedding ring. Because I was trying to research all the ways to sanitize a wedding ring, let me tell you. And so after the dinner, the kids and I, we hightail it out there, and naturally the kids are making sure the cats are okay. The cats are all protected, they're all good. Get my wedding ring back. And I'm talking with Jen's husband, Mike, who found my ring. And he was just like, I was blown away at the fact that no one found it. It was sitting in the middle of the gravel between the chicken coop and the windmill, and just sitting there on the ground. And he was like, we had a big event there that day, like hundreds of people there. No one saw it. No one grabbed it. I know without a shadow of a doubt that we searched there diligently, both by sight and by metal detectors and all the things thoroughly, because that was an area I knew that I spent time. And so I know we searched it thoroughly. And so I know Mike, he was shocked. He was like, I cannot believe that no one saw it after all those hundreds of people there. Like, how did no one see it? And I know this is maybe a stretch, or, but like people smuggle in Bibles across borders or things like that, how God allows people to see things that he needs them to see. And for some reason, we were not allowed to find that ring, or we were not going to find the ring until God ordained it. And I feel like it was God's intention that we would not find the ring until that exact moment that prevented me from taking my dog to get x-rays, to have surgery and all the things, but yet have all the fun that went along with it. All the fun, but all the God and all of the good, because of all the people that I saw that came out of the woodworks to bring me metal detectors and help search, and to just all the things that God was there in every detail. I mean, from the beginning to the end, to the people being there to help to search, and to the x-ray having 3 rings that looked just like my rings, and how it was found when there were so many people there and it was in the middle of the ground. He's just sitting there talking and looks down and is like, oh my goodness, what's that? And then the fact that he happens to find it just at the right time, like God's fingerprints are over that whole thing. So, God is good, and God has a sense of humor, and I am just in awe of him and all that he is and all that he does for us. So again, a weekend that I was never expecting and will never forget ever again. And God put it in the beginning. I knew that I would find my ring. I just had that calmness and that peace. But never in a million years did I think that the journey was going to look quite like that. So, hope that brings you a chuckle today. I know plenty of people have had some chuckles on my behalf about my sensory searching for my ring through all the dog poop. So, you also can chuckle at that. So, I hope that brings you joy and peace, and just you can revel in how amazing God is with me. So,